Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can the Minister, has his department estimated the economic impact of China's 100% tariff on canola oil, meal, and peas, including revenue losses and supply chain effects?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, the canola industry is very important to this government. That's why today I met with leaders from the canola industry. I was also in Paris last week where I sat down with Minister Wang, the Minister of Commerce, China's Minister of Commerce, to work through some of these issues.
The Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
Has his department estimated the economic impact of China's 100% tariffs on canola oil, meal, and peas?
Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, today I sat down with the agriculture leaders, especially the canola sector, and what they asked me to do was work through issues with China and open up new markets, and that's what exactly I'll be focused on.
The Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
Has there been direct ministerial contact with China?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, last week in Paris, I met directly with my counterpart, Minister Wang, the Minister of Commerce, to work through these issues, and also the Prime Minister talked to the Chinese Premier to work through issues as well. So conversations are happening at the highest level.
Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
Which countries is Canada currently negotiating new market access for agriculture products, especially for canola, and what progress has been made?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, I think it's important to note Indonesia is a market that we recently concluded negotiations with. Ecuador is another market that we recently concluded negotiations with. The Indo-Pacific. Indonesia is a big market, over 250 million people, Mr. Speaker. Also, the Philippines is having conversations as well. So today what I heard from the agriculture sector is the Indo-Pacific region.
The Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
What new markets for canola oil and meal have been secured since tariffs were introduced? How much volume do you expect from these deals?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, the canola industry is very important to our government, and today I heard about the opportunities in the Philippines. And the Philippines is a large market for the industry. We also opened up a new agriculture office in Manila to help with that.
The Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
What is being done to deal with non-tariff trade barriers for canola in the U.S., such as inconsistent grading and inspection delays?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, coming back to the conversation at hand, the U.S. is an important partner for Canada. These are some of the issues and the irritants that our Minister of U.S. Trade Relations is working through with his U.S. counterparts.
Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
Is Canada preparing a case at the WTO to challenge the legality of China's 100% tariffs under the new international trade rules?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, the World Trade Organization plays a very important role. Last week I had meetings in Paris through the WTO, and there are important mechanisms in place, and we already have that in action.
The Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
Does the lack of a strong response risk encouraging other countries to target Canadian agriculture with unfair trade practices?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, trade is at the heart of what we do. I think it's important to note that the WTO plays a very prominent role to make sure that trade rules are protected. These trade tribunals trade panels could take up to a year, but we want to make sure that we're dealing in fair trade with all of our partners.
The Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
What message is the government sending to global partners about Canada's willingness to defend its trade rights in agriculture sectors?
Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, last week in Paris I met with over a dozen trade ministers from regions all around the world, and they want what Canada is producing, and so we have a lot of opportunities for trade diversification, and that's exactly what I'll be focused on.
The Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
To the Minister, will you commit to a clear plan that includes direct engagement with China, concrete steps to open new markets, and immediate support for affected producers?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, last week in my meeting with Minister Wang, we talked about reopening JETSI, which is the Joint Economic Trade Committee, to have ongoing discussions to work through disputes, which is a great sign forward. Also, the Prime Minister had a conversation with the Premier of China to talk about what more we can do to have more of these conversations to resolve these disputes.
Honourable Member for Souris Moose Mountain.
Is your department offering any compensation or support through programs like AgriStability to help producers affected by these tariffs?
Is the Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, it's important to note that we will always be there for our agriculture sector, but that's out of my scope. That's a question for the Minister of Agriculture, but I want the agriculture industry to know that we will continue fighting for them and opening up new markets.